Episode 53, the LiveStream Show. What exactly is live streaming, and what do you need to know about it as a podcaster and content creator? Well, you are listening to episode number 53 of Mike Murphy Unplugged. Learn, create, move forward. I am your host, Mike Murphy. I'm a one-man band. I'm a technology junkie. I love helping people figure things out, and I am really excited to be here with you today. The goal of Mike Murphy Unplugged, it's to help you learn what you need to know in order to create online content so you can move forward in business and in life. And this episode 53 is an introduction to live streaming video. What exactly is live streaming video that we keep hearing about? I have 5 popular live streaming sites so you can get familiar with it. And then I have some ideas to get you started so you can leverage live streaming to promote your podcast and brand. But first, as always, let's take a look inside of the Podcaster's Toolkit. The Podcaster's Toolkit is the part of the show where I share a tip, tool, resource, or product that I think will help you in your online journey, or that you might just enjoy, or would make a good gift. It could be a new website service, or a productivity app, or a podcast catcher, or a new piece of gear. If you have a favorite resource or tool you love and you want to share on the podcast, please send it to me at mike@mikemurphy.co. I'll check it out and add it to the kit. And if you are a vendor or a product creator and you would like me to test out a product or a service, please let me know. I'd be happy to test and share, so long as I think it will benefit my audience. In this week's Podcaster's Toolkit, the Manfrotto Articulated Arm. What the heck is that? Well, what it is a handy little contraption by Manfrotto that clamps onto my desk and is what I use to hold my Logitech C930 webcam. But you can also use it to hold lights or microphones or other cameras. It is perfect for live broadcasting at home and making tutorials and classes, and just all around handy for a variety of uses. I also use and recommend getting a small little ball head so that the camera can swivel around in all different directions. I like ball heads by a company called Oben because they're cheap and they're well made. Manfrotto products, however, are not typically cheap, but they are one of the best photo accessory companies around in my opinion. The swing arm is about $40 and is one of the best and practical pieces of grip tools that I own. I sometimes attach my iPhone to it and take photos of gear and various other things that I'm working on, kind of a top-down view. And if you start to explore live video, or even if you're doing Skype calls or interviews, having flexibility with your webcam is great. You really should never use the built-in webcam, kind of like the built-in microphone on your computer. And just resting the webcam on top of your laptop, which is the way they're built, is not ideal as it shakes and vibrates when you type. So getting it on its own stand is important, and it makes it more interesting when you're on video. I will link to this Manfrotto swivel arm and the Oben ball head in the show notes. As always, you can find it at mikemurphy.co/EP53. So episode 53, let's talk about live streaming for podcasters and content creators, as live streaming and video is a hot topic right now. This episode is only a surface view, as many of the platforms and the products for live streaming, they're in their infancy stage, and I am just starting to figure out my own strategy. So this is going to be a topic that we revisit many times in the future, I'm sure. The purpose of today's episode is to introduce you to live streaming and to get you thinking about how you might apply live streaming for your podcast or online business. So in this episode 53, we're going to cover exactly what is live streaming video for our purposes. What are some of the main platforms today? I have 5 that I'll list for you. And then what are some good topics for live streaming so you can start to explore the concept? Okay, on to episode 53, the LiveStream Show. There are many styles and levels of production for live streaming and broadcasting, but what I am referring to in this episode is simply broadcasting live video over the internet in real time, where people can watch your podcast, webinar, speech, teaching, discussion live, in most cases interact with you. Live streaming is simply real-time recording over the internet, whether you are doing it from the ESPN studios or on a beach holding your iPhone. So live streaming and broadcasting events over the internet have been going on for a long time now. So why is live streaming such a hot topic online today? And in case you were not aware, live streaming is a hot topic online today. In the past, live broadcasting was not easy. It often required expensive equipment or complicated software and tons of bandwidth and other technical hurdles that were only achievable by more serious and professional broadcasters. Well, the walls have come crumbling down and the barrier of entry to live streaming is really low and available to almost anyone, which can be a good thing and a bad thing as we all know. But nonetheless, we are entering an era of live streaming and broadcasting for one-man bands and small businesses and podcasters and online educators and bloggers. And while it might not be for you, it is something that you really need to be aware of and put it in your back pocket at least. There are countless live streaming platforms and websites that offer live streaming options. But to keep things simple, here are 5 popular live stream services just so you can get an idea of what might work for you. It seems as if every day there is a new website or an iPhone app offering simple live broadcasting options. So it is less about the platform you choose and more about the content and strategy and the message that you want to deliver. So here are 5 popular live streaming services, and I'll just follow up with a really quick description of each. I'm sure you've heard of many of these. There's Periscope by Twitter, Google Hangouts on Air, there's FireTalk TV, which is where I went when Blab died, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live. Periscope. This is owned by Twitter. It was released in March of 2015 alongside of the almost now extinct Meerkat, but when those two services were released in March of 2015, the internet was really buzzing because live streaming became as easy as opening up an app on your iPhone and starting a broadcast. Periscope is fully integrated with Twitter. It is basically you recording yourself or a live event, and anyone can join in and watch and chat, and the messages are live on the screen for everyone to see, and you as the broadcaster can engage with the audience in real time. This is the entire basis of live streaming, to interact with people in real time. So Periscope is not quite as popular as when it first started, but it is a great way for you to get your feet wet with live streaming. It's low pressure, pretty casual in nature. Number 2, Google Hangouts on Air. Kind of the uncool live streaming platform, probably because it's wildly popular in the corporate world, but the fact of the matter is Google Hangouts on Air, or HOA as you might see it, has been around for a long time. When the technology behind it is solid, it is ideal for roundtable or panel discussions where multiple guests can join in. And for an HOA example, go check out the Podcasters Roundtable by Ray Ortega, who uses Hangouts on Air to live stream a podcast, where there is a revolving panel of podcasters, and it works really nicely for that. Google recently moved Hangouts into the YouTube world as they slowly kill off Google+, so who knows the fate of Hangouts, and it's probably not where a lot of you are going to start your live stream journey, but it is a good platform depending on what you need, and it's something you should know about. So number 3, FireTalk TV. Many of you know that when I launched this podcast, I simultaneously started a weekly Ask Mike Anything show on a website called blab.im. Well, Blab was my first taste of live streaming, and in fact, a lot of podcasters and content creators started their live streaming on Blab as well. Blab took off in popularity because anyone could start a live broadcast with a webcam and an internet connection and have live guests and get recorded video and audio at the end of each show. It was actually awesome. I can honestly say that Blab was one of the best decisions I made when I started this podcast, not only because it introduced me to other great podcasters and content creators, but it helped my confidence in being in front of the camera in a live situation. Well, Blab shut down about a month ago, but sites like Crowdcast, Huzza, and FireTalk, which I'm using now, took over just where Blab left off. So I decided to move my Monday night show to FireTalk. It looks and acts just like Blab, so not a big switch for me, other than the community was a little bit more vibrant on Blab, but FireTalk's new, as are the others. The platform doesn't matter. They're going to be changing constantly. Next week, FireTalk might be gone. Doesn't matter. It's the fact that you're getting out there, getting your message out there, and you're getting comfortable doing it. All right, on to 4 and 5. These are the big boys of the game, and I think these two are just getting started. YouTube Live. Right now, anyone with a verified YouTube account can go live directly from their YouTube channel. You can also schedule events in advance, which is a powerful tactic to grow an audience with a consistent live streaming broadcasting with the power of YouTube behind you. YouTube Live videos stay right on your YouTube channel. Anyone can tune in real time and engage with you. YouTube Live is just getting started. I have a feeling Google has something up their sleeve with this, and it's going to just be only adding feature and functionality. Keep your eyes on YouTube Live, and it's a great place to get started. Anyone with a verified YouTube account can just press start. And finally, number 5, Facebook Live. Zuckerberg and company are fired up about live streaming. It's only been out a couple months now, but it is making stride. Forecasters say that Facebook timelines are going to be all video someday. So while no one knows for sure what's going to happen, live streaming is probably not going anywhere. There have been mixed reviews about the quality of streaming and some of the functionality on Facebook, but Facebook Live is a big deal and could be a strong marketing tactic for you. The big deal about Facebook Live is that once you go live, your video shoots to the top of your followers and fans' timeline. And because everyone's busy, I think for one-man bands and small businesses, short and sweet video sessions is the way to go for Facebook Live. Have something to say and go for it. Okay, so you want to test the waters. Where do you begin? How do you start? What makes for a good live streaming topic? And I have a tip first before you start. Before you live stream anything, have a general game plan. Maybe some bullet points, a loose outline. Do not just wing it and ramble. Have a purpose or a reason for making people tune in to watch you. Keep it casual and natural, but be intentional. All right, number 1, tutorials. Surprise, surprise, but sharing what you know in live video has a ton of benefits. Teach your process, teach about a tool, show how you use an application, or do a gear review. You know what to do. Teach everything and anything. Doing it live may be scary to some of you, but is actually really forgiving. Teaching is going to build trust, and you're going to instantly be looked at as an expert and be associated with what you are teaching. So use it to your advantage of what you want to be known for and teach away. Next, Q&A session. Ask Mike anything. This is what my Monday night session is. I like to help people figure things out. So people come to me on Fire Talk now and ask me questions about podcasting and content creation or general online business and tech. It's casual, but people know that I'm there to help. It is giving me exposure and I'm meeting people. Behind the scenes is great for live video. It's one of my favorite things to watch. I get hooked every time. Show your desk or your podcast equipment or your photo, your video setup, or your coffee making routine. Doesn't matter. People often like to see how people do things more than what they're doing. Live streaming is perfect for walkthroughs and behind the scenes coverage. And finally, promotion and marketing. Online business is about selling and promoting products and services. We forget about this. Use live streaming to deliver a webinar or a presentation or promote your recent podcast or your guest or your online course. Now this last one's difficult for me. It might be for you too. Self-promotion is not my strength, but live streaming is a perfect way to promote yourself and your products and services. And that is something that I intend to do. It's going to take me a little while, but live streaming is a perfect way to promote my services and products. Live streaming seems to be where online business is headed, and all you really need to dip your toes in the water is an iPhone or web browser. And going live may be intimidating for some of you. I know it was not in my top things to do when I first got going on Blab, which is exactly why I started my Monday nights about a year ago. If you are nervous or apprehensive about doing live streaming, I have a really big tip for you that helped me a lot. Practice using something like Snapchat or Instagram stories or Musical.ly if that's your thing. Snapchat was fun, but what I was really doing was practicing and getting comfortable behind the camera. I've sort of abandoned Snapchat now for Instagram stories, but it's the same thing. I use Instagram stories for the same benefit of live streaming, but it's very much practice for me. I don't stress about it because it's not live. But what it is doing is helping me develop my style and my voice, and it's thinking of ways to connect with people. I know it is carrying over to live broadcasting and when I do my Monday night stuff. So practice in a non-live environment, or maybe do some vlogging style videos as a warm-up. And I really think you're going to be surprised at how much this helps you with your confidence and ability to communicate and deliver meaningful information in short clips. So to wrap up today was just to introduce you to and get you thinking about live streaming video as a piece of your content marketing strategy, a major piece. We are at the very beginning stages of live streaming, and I expect significant changes and developments over the next few months and for a long time to come. I think Google and Facebook are going to be big players in this space. Twitter sure seems to be putting a lot of effort into live video, and I think it's just a matter of time before Instagram stories and Snapchat and others pop up into more of a live stream platform. To recap today, live streaming. It is simply broadcasting live over the internet in real time to an audience that can either join in live or engage via chat and messaging. The 5 platforms that I discussed today were Periscope by Twitter, Google Hangouts on Air, Fire Talk, Also look at Huzza and Crowdcast, which are very similar, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live. Some topics to get you started: teaching, Q&A sessions, or Ask Mike Anything, behind the scenes, and promotion and marketing your products, services, classes, whatever. Some parting advice: think about the viewer always. Is what you are sharing worth their time, or will it help them or entertain them, etc.? Have a purpose. Be prepared. Know what you want to say before you hit start. Practice and develop a style on Instagram stories or Snapchat or vlogging that you can carry over to live streaming. Keep it all similar for your branding power so people know what to expect of you. And that's going to do it for today. As always, I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to this podcast, and I welcome all those new to the podcast. For those of you who have not already done so, please sign up for my newsletter at mikemurphy.co/newsletter. And if you know of anyone you think might enjoy the podcast, by all means, share away on social media so we can build up the show and build the community up. I thank you for joining me today. I hope you join my one-man band, and together we can learn, create, and move forward. Cheers.